Hello. What I want to go through with you right now is the steps that you're going to need to take to complete the current event analysis. The first thing that you need to do is to find an article that ties back to something that we've done in class. The easiest way to do this is to simply go to a large news source website, a CNBC or ABC News or CBS News or a Fox News. For example, I have here CNBC News. So by simply going through and looking at just looking for different politics, or by even going to a CNN.com, you are able to kind of just browse throughout the website to start to look for, in this case, maybe US news that might tie back to the judicial branch. Now, one of the articles that I'm going to use as an example, and you can't use this same article or this same topic, is here's my article. It's anyone attempting to spread COVID-19 intentionally may face terrorism charges, Department of Justice memo states. So this is the article that I have found. As I look at the directions here, I'm going to use 12-point Times New Roman font without spaces in between paragraphs, and I'm going to type up a 4-paragraph response. Now to do this, I'm going to go into Google and just create a blank document. Do not copy anything over. All that's going to be on the top of it is just your name, and then you're going to have 4 paragraphs with the following requirements listed there. So the first paragraph is the current event introduction. As you see, it says on the left-hand side 1, 2, 3, and this one's worth 3 points. So the first point is that you're going to identify the topic and where you got it with the URL. The second thing is you're going to provide a minimum of 3 to 5 sentence summary. Because we are currently dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak, this article looks at and addresses several individuals that in a joking fashion have videotaped themselves in public places licking and spitting on various products that people are purchasing as a joke that they're spreading COVID-19. Several of those individuals have been arrested since then. So that would be, for example, my 3 to 5 sentence summary. Then I'm going to explain why I think this event is important, and you should include a brief explanation of the lasting impact this event has had on the region. So the reason I think that this current event is so important is because currently we are in a lockdown, and as a result of that lockdown, we are in a shelter in place. People are not allowed to leave because of the spread of this virus. And as a result, our economy and individuals have suffered greatly, and people are dying as a result of that. And that's why this is such a big impact right now. The next paragraph, I'm going to have to connect this to class. So the way that I'm going to connect this to class is through the discussion that we had on federal and state, that we have a dual court system. We have a federal system and a state system. This article references the Department of Justice, which is the federal court system. Terrorism affects not just a state, but the entire nation as a whole. So our federal and state dual system is the way that this is going to be tied to class. Now this is worth 2 points. I'm going to explain that concrete connection, and then I'm going to support that connection with evidence demonstrating that link. So I'm going to use quotes maybe or summaries from what is in the article to tie that to class. The third paragraph is the consequences and predictions. So the first thing is, in the short term, describe and or predict the consequences for those involved in the region. Well, as we look at this article, individuals that are taking this lightly are potentially putting people's lives at risk. People who are not social distancing are putting people's lives at risk. So in the short term, we need to address these individuals to stop this behavior from happening. In the long term, it's kind of interesting to think of potentially bioterrorism as a wave of the future. That terrorism isn't just blowing up sadly a building or crashing a plane or a suicide bomber. That we have to almost create new definitions of what terrorism looks like in the future. Finally, personal reaction. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but again, you can read through based on your explanation and your understanding. What do you think should be done? Or what is the rationale then for your opinion? So here's what I think should be done, and this is why I think that should be done. The key is this should be 4 full paragraphs. 12-point font, Times New Roman. Now, when you are done with this, you are not going to be able to upload it via the app in Schoology, and that's the most important part. You need to instead log into Schoology via the browser. So you are going to go to Safari or Chrome, and you're going to log into Schoology with the school.district196.org, and that's going to take you to the login for Schoology. You will then locate the assignment through that browser window and upload it there. If you attempt to upload this through the Schoology app, it will not work. What it is doing, and the reason that you have to upload it through the browser, is that it runs it through what is called turnitin.com, where it just checks your document for plagiarism to make sure that it is your own words and your own work. Anything above 15% plagiarism, 15% connection will be viewed as plagiarism, and I will have to give you a 0 and you will have to redo it. So be sure as you're working through this that this is in your own words and your own work. That's why it's so important that you start with a blank document and that you don't copy any of this stuff over. Because if I copy this over, for example, like this, and then write my paragraph below it, the problem is that the plagiarism software knows that this is out on the internet and it's going to ding you for plagiarism. So don't put that stuff in there, just your work. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. Please do not wait until 11:59 on Friday night to try and do this, because the stability of Schoology has definitely been low, and we definitely need to be sure that we're trying some of this stuff ahead of time. So you have really the next several days to work on this. If you have any questions, let me know via email. Thanks for listening.